Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Hi, I'm Kim,
And I'm Torra.
and this is our podcast, Kicking It with Kimm and Torra. It's been a long time, almost an entire year since we did an episode. So we're excited to be back, and we're excited that you're joining us. And we're planning to continue on with our podcast moving forward.
Absolutely. We missed each other. We missed talking. So we have so much to talk about. I can't
Yes.
wait for us to hit these new topics that's going on in the world today.
Number one, you mentioned to me about a lot of young people getting cancer. I did see that in the news. What do you think's going on with that, Tora?
Literally, they are between the heart attacks and the cancer with the young things, and we've never heard of. And I don't understand. Maybe it's because it's affecting African American children more than any other race.
It
They're
is?
not, oh yeah, they're not claiming it's an epidemic, but it is definitely like affecting us more than any other race. And there are some people who are speaking out on it, but then as soon as it gets posted, as you know, like YouTube did mainly a lot of our old videos that we talk about things that we had opinions on, they deleted our content. And it's
Yeah,
like,
they did.
it's
They
our
did.
opinion with the knowledge that we've gained. Why can't we speak on it? I mean, what are you silencing us for?
That brings us into another topic, which I'm not going to touch right now, but of course,
Mhm.
censorship. But I'm going to make a note and we'll get to that on another episode. But
And
I did hear about the increased, uh, I thought it was increased cancer in young
mhm,
people.
mhm.
And I don't really know what it's due to because the young people didn't even start getting that jab until toward the end because at first
Yeah,
it wasn't approved for them.
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I think the products, definitely the products they're putting out now just have no type of protection for the Food and Drug Administration. You know, other countries, they'll tell you right off the break, you can't bring that into our country, and we don't sell that here in our country. And here in the United States, it's a free for all. You know, it's the vaping, it's the products as far as their hair braiding and the
Oh, so
perms, the
when we're
colors.
talking about young people, are you talking about young adults, late teens? What age group are they?
Late teens and young adults, meaning from the age of 17 to 25. Those to me are still, that group right there is nothing like our group at that
Yeah, they're
age.
younger.
Their mind is even younger. You sometimes have to say to yourself, like, ooh, I got to remind myself the times have changed because they are not our original old school 17 to 25 era. You know, we could run a whole house at that age. These kids still need to live at home, some of them, you know. And I mean, not that we want that, but it's just the world they're in is just not, you know, conducive to their lifestyle. Like the cancer, I believe, is because they are trying to put stuff in these kids and not to eliminate that era.
Probably. That's depopulation is the ultimate agenda. You know, I'm Miss
I've heard
Conspiracy
it.
Theorist.
I've heard it.
So put it out there, girl. Depopulation is the
Because
agenda.
that was the
And if
fastest
you can
growing
get,
era.
I wasn't really thinking about that, but now that you mention it, if you can get rid of that group,
Yep.
cut out the fertility, so we're
Yep.
not, those are the ones that are primarily going to be having the babies for our
Yeah.
next generation.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, the hair products, the food, and when you mention that, I'm thinking about it, about our, by our age, a lot of us realize we need to lay low on the fast foods,
Mm-hmm.
lay
Mm-hmm.
low on fried stuff, get some
Mm-hmm.
more fruits and vegetables. They're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
thinking that.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
eating ramen and going doing DoorDash and
Oh my God. Yes. That's our children. That's our
yeah, they're
children.
getting a lot of that.
And my daughter also has precancer, and then I just heard that Michael Strahan's daughter has the same mucus plasma cancer, but her tumor was in her brain
Yeah.
and it was fast growing. My daughter's tumor was in her ovaries, and it was really a sad thing for me to, because once something happens to you, you dive in and you find out. And all I've heard is so many young people from the West Coast to the East Coast of the United States are having this mucus plasma, neomucus plasma type of tumor developing in their bodies. It has to come from something. We did not have it. The worst thing we had growing up was maybe your cousin had asthma or
Or,
allergies,
or your aunt had fibroids or
or
something.
somebody had fibroids, but that was, you know, our no, none of my girlfriends in high school, I never remember any of them saying, this something was this fatal. You know what I mean? Like there's
Remember a young lady dying from cancer after we graduated, but it was very rare. It was
Mhm,
not anything that was consistently happening. I'm going to do a little research too, and maybe we can come up with some more things. What are
mhm.
potential remedies? Well, remedies to help address it before the tumor starts forming.
Absolutely. My daughter, I think it scared her a little bit. She had two classmates that's already passed away from this type of that went to the high school that she went to, and they thought that one of them died from coma, but when the autopsy came back, it was an untreated tumor that had erupted.
Wow. And that brings me to something that I wanted to discuss. Seems like I and everyone I know
Mhm.
is going to funeral after funeral. I've never
Ooh,
been to so many, and some of them I don't go to. There was a while when I was just like, I'm not in a space where I can just keep going
no,
to funerals.
no.
But then I realized that if you take that approach, you're really alienating your friends and family because they're like, huh, why is she not showing up? So then I started going and it's just depressing. And
But I was gonna say, psychologically, it tears you down. You still got to be here, you know.
I I don't even do Facebook that much. I went on there today. One of my cousins died today.
Oh my God,
Today.
that's
And
how I've been finding out people
her
pass.
daughter's funeral was within the last 2 weeks.
Your
One of her daughters
daughter?
died within the last 2 weeks. And I'm just like, oh my God, our family, friend, not just family though, friends.
Yeah, no
uh,
friends.
I took my truck in to get some windshield wipers today to a guy that always works on my vehicle. And he was like, I had 4 funerals last week.
Oh my
A
God.
girlfriend I talked to by text recently said, last week said, I've got 3 funerals this week. There's something wrong.
Something is going on, and it's sad because soon as we speak on it, they shut us down. We're not allowed to share information. Everyone I know is probably talking about it and going through it. And thank God we have these iPhones that talk to each other and talk to other people, and without us even having to be on it. So the message is getting out there that the government is doing something.
But
It's
these
doing
people
something.
aren't dying from myocardial infarction, or whatever it is. That's a heart attack and the kinds of things that I would expect as a result of the pandemic and everything that happened during that time frame. They're dying of kidney issues,
Yeah,
cancer,
yeah.
just all kind of thing. Everybody's not even dying of the same thing. They're just
Not every
passing away.
exactly, but I still contributed to that COVID era. Whatever that was, that depopulation thing was, it's just it's too many of us having these headaches. We're all suffering from, and I'm talking about real headaches. Like I think I can count on one hand growing up about how many headaches I've had.
I'm
And
not
trust
a
me, I
headache
used to
person,
drink.
but yeah, I've had some.
I used to drink, so you would think I'd at least get a headache from hangovers. No, these headaches are just spontaneous where my head feels like it's water in there. And I'm just like, what's going on? And then I'll look on Instagram and TikTok. Everybody's saying, is it just me or you suffering from headache? No, no, I'm suffering from them too. My daughters are always telling me, Mom, I got a headache so bad. I mean, I actually have an appointment with the doctor next week to find out why am I still getting these headaches. He's saying he's had a rise in patients coming in saying the same thing, same behind the eyes headache on
Wow.
a daily basis. You drink, you hydrate, you vitamin, take your vitamins and minerals, and you do all the things that your body might be deficient in from the food, but you
I'm
know.
not getting headaches, but I had gotten a cold and I even still have some residual mucus. So when you start saying neomucus, I
Mhm.
literally wrote it down, neomucus plasma tumor. Then I'm like, "Whew, is this
It
mucus?"
all started with that.
We started
It
with
all started
mucus.
with having colds and sore throats back to back. That's what my daughter and all the people who she knew, and even a couple girls at San Diego who had just had that operation and had a tumor removed. I know you like, what do you mean? No, it wasn't just one or two. It wasn't just my daughter. It's been a couple of young kids have had this tumor removed, and they all had the same symptoms leading it up. It was a cold, it was sore throats, back to back to back, staying on antibiotics and trying to clear it up. And then finally, she came home for her birthday and we ate some food and we thought she was constipated. So I was like, you need to go to the hospital and just get a sonogram done to your stomach to find out if your intestines are swollen. Because the girl from Poltergeist, the little girl that said, they're here, her death always stayed on my brain because she had a swollen intestines that erupted from, they say, eating jelly beans. So that always stayed in my brain. And I was just like, oh, she had black beans when we went out to dinner. So I'm like, I just want to make sure she's not clogged up and she doesn't have any, problems with that. And when they went in, they were like, honey, how long have you had this tumor? And she was like, what tumor?
Oh my God.
They were like, you don't know about this? She was like, no, I'm here for my intestines.
Oh my
They
God.
called in like several doctors. They called me on the phone. They were like, we're rushing her into surgery. I'm like, don't touch her. I'm coming to get her. They was like, oh no, ma'am, she can't get on a plane. She cannot even get out of the state of California with this. So
Oh my
we hurry up and got out of there. And then she was able to get the surgery. And the doctor who was telling us about it, he was like, I want to let you know, I would have a Nobel Peace Prize if I could tell you what's going on, but she's not the youngest, nor is she the only patient I've had that had this removed. He
God.
said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either, but
But
it's
maybe we
not
just put
looking
it out there.
good. It's not looking good. That I mean, it's sad that
Reproduction.
yeah,
You're messing with
definitely if it's
Black
in
woman reproduction.
Mhm.
Something ain't right, is it?
And just the number of people that are passing away. I mean, there's no way on earth everybody you talk to is like, yeah, I got another funeral, I got another. That's not a thing. At
That's
least it wasn't before.
no.
Before the end of mid 2023, I would say, is when I started noticing back to back to back. Everybody's just
And you remember your grandparents living well into their 80s, so life expectancy was very long. That's what brings me to Nikki Haley talking about she wants to change the retirement age to 70 for the young people. Like, girl, are you playing with us? Like, this was you're
whole
trying,
lifespan.
and Whoopi is another one who I think is misled. Not throwing her under the bus or anything, but these people who are just. I'm sorry about that. I sent my
Throw her
family.
under the bus if she's
Telling them
saying stuff that needs to put her under the bus. But I heard Nikki Haley say that these younger people need to be prepared to work to 70.
till 70.
She said based on expected life, based on life expectancy. So if we're thinking that life expectancy is down to about 70, then she's basically saying to them, you're going to work for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life in a computer era, not farming and human era, not manufacturing and human era, not corporate and human era. We are working in industrial computer era where they're just changing every single thing that was ever given to humans to work for to computers and robots. And what job are you going to find, Nikki? What jobs are these people going to have, Nikki, at 70?
Not only that, but Generation Z keeps complaining about the fact that the salaries are so low, they're not going to be able to afford a home, they
Or
can't afford
food.
to move out, they can barely afford food. So the question is, who on earth do you think is going to work every day of their life and not have a place to live and food to eat and a car to drive?
Why
Would
would
that
the
just
homeless
be in the
population be so big right now if it was like, a retirement age that you can work until you're 80 and then retire? Like, really? I want to know what, if she's not the only one, if she has a fan base that's protecting her and voting for her. It blows my mind that they're living in this bubble of non-reality. There's no way you're going to tell our 20-year-olds who are competing with computers and robots, don't worry, you're going to work till you work what? You don't let us have the food and gardens anymore. You're shutting people down left and right with that.
down the Amish, they will go in and overturn the crop. I mean, like what on earth? But see, at some point, we have to get together as a society and say, you're not representing us, you're not doing anything we want done. You're literally intentionally harming us, and we don't need you anymore. That's really what has to happen.
Did you see where I don't know why I was halfway asleep, halfway awake when I saw it, but they are putting manure and live sewage on government buildings. They are pulling up with live sewage and they sprayed this government building because they were saying you're a piece
Exterior?
of hmm?
They sprayed the exterior of the building, the
Yeah, they couldn't.
outside.
I don't know if they could get past the gate. I guess they
Who
just
sprayed it?
they're just a group, a company, or
Protest.
people. The people did this, and I wish I had paid more attention, but it was more so me saying, "Thank you, Jesus, that we're starting to speak up. Humans are starting to speak up and say." Stop it. Stop supporting these people who are putting you out of business. Stop it. Stop saying we're going to have computers and robots. Stop supporting that company. They're
Right.
taking
Or when they
away your
said,
right to live.
the first McDonald's with all robots is now open, and I
Did you
just
see that?
commented that anybody who goes there is out of their mind because you're eliminating everything that humans need to survive in terms of jobs, no
Yes.
quality control, no nothing. We're just, But back to Nikki Haley, you do know that Trump has beat her in two primary races.
He just
But
beat her in was it Hampton,
New Hampshire and
Hampshire?
But the thing that I want to say is that the Democrats, given that Trump is winning there so far, I mean, it's only two races,
Oh,
but given that
he's gonna
Trump is winning the
landslide if they let
primary,
him win.
it seems to me that the Democrats are setting the country up to have Trump again, because the reality is everybody know Joe Biden can barely say a sentence. He is not here. We're in that war. We're in two wars that nobody is in the Ukraine war and the Israel Palestine war that many people in our country oppose. But
Mhm.
Joe Biden is not fit to walk to the bathroom unaided,
Oh,
let alone be a president. So my question is, why would the Democrats continue to push him as the only
didn't give
no
anyone
primary
else.
races? They're saying, hey, this is our guy, and we're sticking with him. And I'm saying, then you don't want to win. You don't
No,
want it. You don't
no.
want to keep the
I
Democratic.
don't know anyone who's has said they're gonna, for me in my circle, who said they were gonna vote for him. Either they said they weren't gonna vote at all to show that there's nobody out there, or they were voting for Trump because that's the only other option. Because no one wants Nikki in there, no one wants DeSantos in there. So, um,
Well, whoever wins their nomination, whoever wins the
he's
Republican.
gonna win by a landslide. If all is legal, he's gonna win by a landslide. People can. He was not the most colorful president, as far as I believe he had race baiting, more than enough race baiting, and race baiting people supporting him, but people have money in their pocket, and now that everybody is broke and food prices is through the roof and housing costs and no money is being
And
given to them.
immigrants are marching across our border by the tens of thousands. And then this stupid government, the federal government and the state governments, are diverting our tax money while we're
Oh,
seeing increasing homeless
oh.
populations living in tents and on the streets.
How about the schools?
Governments
They
are
shut
giving
down
them
people's schools, the kids' schools, and put the
to
immigrants
let the
in the schools.
immigrants go in, and they're also giving immigrants monthly stipends. They're letting them drive without
Yep.
licenses. They're paying for them to stay in luxury hotels in New York City.
Luxury
All of
hotel.
this is on Joe Biden's watch. And I would tell you, in the last few elections,
Trump ain't for that.
I stopped voting, but and I'm not in favor of Trump. I
No,
don't even know what to do. I don't, because something says, well, you might
lesser of the two
have to vote.
evils.
I might have to vote to keep Biden. He can't come
Yeah.
back.
No,
He
he
can't
can't.
come
No,
back.
he's definitely, if like I said, if all is legal, he's never coming back. Everyone I know, from black people to white people, hate this man. They thought Trump was the worst president, but then you get this guy in office who everybody feels broke. Like the paychecks, you go to the grocery store, you got 3 bags, you paid over $400, and you like,
It's
what?
outrageous.
Nothing.
And don't eat organic like I do,
Oh
because
no.
it is really like,
You might got a bag and a half. You might got a bag and a
right.
half.
I'm like, are you people crazy? This one bag is $52. If it can
$52.
fit in one bag, it should not be over $50.
No, no. I remember the days when $20 had me a whole bag of groceries and fruit. I used to be like, okay, I'm getting oranges and apples, and I'm gonna get some limes and lemons, and I put it in my bag. And not only did Safeway have $10 off of what you could fit in this bag, no, those days are over.
But
Those
you
days.
know what? It's interesting what you're saying about your friends and family circle not wanting to vote for Biden because I normally don't pay attention, but I have some acquaintances who are on Facebook actively promoting Biden and still anti-Trump. I know a person, a woman who works for an organization that has her traveling around the country generating support for Biden.
Mhm.
And I know people in a group, a social group I'm in, that are saying, "Hey, we need you, sis. Keep it up. We're counting on you." So I know an array of people who are still vehemently pro Biden. So it surprised me to hear you say that. But my perspective is by going with Biden, no, he's out.
No, I could never. Literally, as far as healthcare, like we have a stack like this of doctor bills. We have the best insurance in the world. We have the federal government insurance, and we have doctor bills this high because we keep getting. I'm like, what is the insurance paying for? It's not us. It's the federal government. They're not taking any on. They're not paying for this. What? Well, why are we even paying? And then you have to have insurance, or you get penalized.
And as a self-employed person, I pay a huge premium every month, and it's the same thing because I've had some illnesses
Mhm.
lately, and every time I go to a hospital or go to a specialist, I'm
Yep.
talking like thousands of
Thousands.
dollars. Not all your copays 350 or
Oh
500.
no.
I'm talking thousands. Every specialist is charging me.
Yep.
Everybody is still circling back and saying, you owe us more money. And I'm saying I'm paying thousands every year.
Yeah.
How is this? How is
How is this
this?
possible?
How is
This
this work?
government failed us.
But Biden recently said in a conference that he was just saying he was following orders and he doesn't know about us, but he's about to go to bed. Who says that?
Who said that?
I saw it on TikTok. It was an
What?
excerpt from one of his press conferences recently. And I'm like, bed, you're the leader of the free world. You're supposed to be known for, like Barack Obama, Clinton, all of them aged great, had
Yeah,
tremendous
no,
aging in
no,
office, gray hair, all of that,
no.
because they're known for living off minimal
Yeah,
sleep. And
yes.
here you are behind the podium telling us you're about to go to bed. That doesn't
I
compute
don't
for
know
me.
about y'all, but I'm done with this.
I'm done with
Wow.
him. I'm done with him.
Wow.
And if I think it's necessary, I'm sorry to say, I will consider, I haven't voted in the last few elections, but if necessary, I will consider going to vote to make sure he doesn't win because
Yeah,
he,
no, if he wins, it's because we don't have any control over voting. That's my thing. I don't know anybody. Like literally, these women came around the other day and was like, "We see that you're a Democrat." I said, "Ladies, I 100,000% will not be voting for Biden, so you can take me off." Oh no, honey, I hate him, and you can tell him I said it. I've never felt so much pressure. I thought Trump was toxic and
he
all
is,
that, as far as the
he's
racism went,
toxic,
his
he's
followers,
racist, he's
but I wasn't
divisive,
broke.
he's interested in being a dictator.
Yep,
He idolizes Putin
yep, but
and the dictator over North Korea. He is a problem.
he is
He
a
is
problem.
I don't want him. I
Right,
really don't want him, but
right.
I refuse to have Biden again.
And
So
especially when you have the immigrants population that is committing, their crime is the crime that you have never even seen before. Like they took I was looking at TikTok how they picked up a whole mailbox unit and stole it. Like their crimes are just like, that ain't nobody over
they're not coming
here
from
all
here.
these years and we ain't never took them.
They're from a different culture. And I just read, I don't think this will be effective, but I recently read an article saying that a woman is suing the federal government because she's heartbroken because an MS-13 gang member immigrant raped and killed her daughter. And
I've been
her
hearing that a lot.
position is that the lax immigration policies are responsible for that. But as a lawyer, I know that the government is immune to suit
Yep.
unless it gives you the right to sue. There is a, I don't want to go all legal. There is some stuff, there is some legislation that allows you to sue them for torts. So it depends on how they
I
frame
pray
it
she
and
wins
whatever. But I
because,
can see that getting thrown out easily.
but I
Easily.
hope we, the people, are sick and tired of being sick and tired and look out for stuff like that because at this point, you're not blaming just, we know black people do crime. We know white folks do crime. We know all the races do crime. But when I tell you the crime of just opening my car door, everybody texting everybody all night, make sure you lock your door. And then you look at your ring camera and you see who's doing it. You're like, yo, where did it all come from that you can just take my Cadillac converter and like we poor too, but see, their poor is different levels of poor. Like
You
black
know
people have
what?
known for years, don't you can't break in our car. We got just as much as you got. You ain't gonna get too much.
But I want to be clear that I am not anti-immigration, but I am
I
absolutely
am.
anti what is happening right now. And I have read an article or saw a video where they were saying that, Americans are pouring into Mexico, Caribbean
I
countries,
saw it.
European countries, and then said the Mexicans in Mexico City had the nerve to complain about the number of us there saying we're changing the nature of their city. And I said, fair exchange is no robbery. You're changing the
Exactly.
nature of our country. I will come there if I want to. Matter of fact, I'm
Exactly.
planning to start going and visiting some spots in Mexico because if this place continues on like this, it's not a place for me. I
It's
mean, I've
not.
always thought to go to Africa or do something, but I mean, I'm serious. Like this, the
But
United
have you
States.
noticed that about Africa too? That they're starting to show like Seychelles, Africa. God, that's such a
Oh,
mouthful.
Seychelles.
Seychelles, Africa. Like they're starting to show that people like you and I, that look like you and I, are moving there and being like, how the heck did we know this place existed? Not because we all hear about Ghana and Guinea and Nairobi. We hear about all of those parts,
Familiar
but we
really
don't
with
hear about.
Seychelles. I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar. But a lot of our people who've moved to the places you talked about have been there for some years. They're starting to come back. Really, at the end of the day, we don't come from Africa, and some of the things that are going on over there eventually aren't going to be working for us. We're going to have to fix our country. We're going to
Yeah.
have to. I mean, I know that contradicts what I just said, but
I
as
don't know because
people
that's what I'm
move,
saying. They only give us a little bit of Africa, and you hear it and you see the pictures. You're like, oh, big whoop! It's just like going to Ocean City. But when they show you Seychelles, Africa, and you see paradise, and you see people that look like me walking around and just being like, how did we did not know we come from paradise? Like why did they not tell us that these parts of Africa exist? Because they only give you here, and then if you go there, I guess they protect it so they don't tell us. But people are getting sick and tired of the United States.
like 5 or 6 countries in Africa. I've been to Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Western Africa, and they have beaches, they have
Mhm.
safari, they
Yep.
have a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, after what I finally realized is I'm American. I don't mind going to visit, but there's a mentality that
Right.
is absolutely different
Right.
from how we process and how we move. There is a freedom there. So there's a trade-off if you want that freedom, but
I
I
think that's what people are chasing, that freedom of mind. Like, give me, the David Chappelle moment where I have to go back to the motherland to regroup and get it together, be able to deal with what's going on over here. Because I feel like we have just been beat down with the system and we keep getting overlooked by everyone. That's why when I'm not apologizing, I'm never going to apologize about having a problem with immigration because you all jump right in the line right after the gays got their rights and the
they're replacing us.
LGBTQ got their right. Then y'all jump in. It's like, well, are
Replacing
we
us.
ever going to be in this line?
That's part of the intent because even though maybe a lot of people have ancestors from Africa, a
Mhm.
lot of my ancestors primarily are from the Americas.
I
And
thought
so
so.
they are intent on keeping us separate from our land. And in my mind, and there is a political theory called replacement theory, they're bringing in all those immigrants to put them up on a par above us and to push us. They're taking our country
Yep.
again. They're
Yep.
taking our country again by replacing us with
And
immigrants.
it's
So
crazy because whoever these people are that can control this and be able to do that, how long do they live? Like, are they hooked up to some type of, because who are you teaching? the people we went to school with. You're teaching them to do that to us? Like, I understand your great great grandfather, but he should be gone by now. And I even understand your great great grandfather, but he should be. Who is the new generation they're teaching to be able to say, let's keep this party going and second,
Now,
third class these people?
the old people are in control. That's the problem with our government. The old people are still in control. Look at Joe Biden. Nancy
Mhm.
Pelosi died in office. All those people are old, out of touch, and they're in control. And they're not even in control. They're puppets of people higher than them behind the scenes that are pulling the strings. So it's not young people doing this to us. It is older people, World Economic Forum, all that kind of thing that are putting these policies in place. But we're down to like 4 minutes. I know we can talk about some other stuff. Oh, I want to ask you this. Since
Mhm.
you're a Tesla driver,
Mhm.
what we're consistently hearing is that now that we're into winter, the
Mhm.
mileage that you're
It's true.
supposed to get is lower
It's true.
and is difficult to charge your battery. Is
It's
that true?
100%.
It is true.
It's 100%. We tried to charge the first really bad snowstorm we got, and it took like, it normally would take maybe an hour. It took almost 3 hours,
Oh my God.
and it still wouldn't fully charge it. It just was so, and it drains it. So if once you do get charged and it's out in the cold in the weather, you see when you get in, you would normally still have almost a full charging. And
Mhm.
now it's just, if you don't keep it plugged up in a garage and just keep it, battery operated, it drains it. It is really, really bad. Like, and I don't know if you saw the movie The World We Left Behind or Leave the World Behind.
I specifically have not watched it, but I will watch it later. I don't want to get programmed, but I'll watch it later. But I've heard about
Well, it's supposed to be, Barack and Michelle Obama, President Barack and First
it.
Lady Michelle Obama's
Well, they're
movie.
no friend. I'm no friend of theirs,
Right.
so you
So a
know
lot of
me. I'm off
people,
the beaten path. So
so
I know everybody loves
I
him.
think now
He's our
that's
president.
another person we got to talk about next time about her coming back. I think she could shut the world down and come back in office. I think she could do
Yeah,
it. Yeah. I
she
think she,
always says she didn't want to run, but I think
I
people
think
would
she's
take
scared.
it.
I
I
think
think
she's
people
scared.
would
I
take
think
the
she's like,
entertainment.
look, Barack, we gotta go back. I'll be the front runner since you can't be, but they all know,
What
you know.
did you want to say about that movie, though? How it
Oh,
played?
but in the movie, they show that the Teslas start driving themselves because of, whatever bug or glitch, because, there's a strike where the systems are all shut down. So all these Teslas are going to the same place, crashing into one
Oh, I
another.
saw that.
And
I
so it was funny because you think about it and you like, if somebody was to hack and we were to get targeted by a hack, that could happen. If
Remember what
they're
I
attacking.
told you in our or I did a TikTok draft and I never published that posted that video where when the war in Ukraine first started,
Mhm.
a lot of people around the world were calling for Tesla to shut down all the Teslas in Russia. You don't remember that? And I said the fact that
No.
that's even a possibility is a problem. I don't think I
Is.
ever posted it. I don't think I
Did it
posted.
happen?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no. But the fact that you could call for it and
Yeah.
this potentially could
I
happen,
know. Why would you even want that? Like,
but
even
it
know
speaks,
that.
but it speaks to the level of control that can be exercised over you when you have a
Absolutely.
vehicle like that.
Absolutely. And that's why people are saying, we're gonna keep at least one gas vehicle. But you gotta remember they can cut down gas. They could shut a gas off and you won't have anything. But it's a win-lose situation. You know what I'm saying? It's good until it's not. It's good
What it
until it's
really is that we're gonna like in Germany, all those farmers are parking their big tractors and
not.
blowing stuff up. I heard, I think it's Italy, another
Mhm.
European country has started to follow suit. At the end of the day, Americans are going to have to step up. Americans that can still afford food and still afford their homes, they're going to
Afraid.
have to join
Everybody's
together.
afraid, and everybody's going to end up on the other side of the world, meaning die one day. So why, when you're here, you're not going to try to fight for something? If the world isn't wiped out and your kids are going to survive it and your grandkids are going to survive it, why not fight for them? It's like insurance. It's like life insurance. Okay, you might not can use it, but if you don't have enough money to generate to leave to the next generation, just have it just for that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so we're gonna use this life insurance of life, fighting for our grandkids, our great grand, because we're gonna all end up that way anyway. They just won't do it. It's like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
And there's a
Right.
possibility that if this is our timer, you hear it?
Mhm.
There's a possibility that if we fight, we could even have a few better years for ourselves.
Better years for ourselves. How about that?
So we're out of time, but I really enjoy coming back, and I hope our audience has enjoyed us too, because we're definitely planning to come back again.
Absolutely. And I also was thinking me and you should set up a maybe a separate TikTok account and just start posting our
Because
synopsis
I
in
was going to start posting shorts from this
there.
right
Mhm.
on my TikTok.
Yeah,
So
I'm definitely gonna do
my
it too.
people over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So definitely we're going to put some clips on TikTok and hopefully drive more people to it. Leave comments. You disagree, you agree, you don't have an opinion or don't know where to go with it. We love comments and conversation
Absolutely.
to keep the conversation going.
Absolutely. And please like and always subscribe. And we will be back next week with another hot topic.
See you next time.
Next time, kicking it with Kimm and Torra.